Welcome to yet another edition of the Stats and Stacks podcast, where today we are going over week 5 NFL football, and we are back in full effect. Your eyes do not deceive you. We have our main man, Tyler, back. What is going on, Tyler?
Well, I didn't get the opera. I feel like I'm coming back at a weird time. I had COVID, obviously, last week. Yeah, I think it was last week when I couldn't get. Has it been 2 weeks since we've been able to do this?
Yeah, it was two. You started to feel a little better, and then I was feeling a little under the weather, so we just kind of did a real quick one last week. So it's been 2 weeks now. It's only been 1 week so far of the season.
So we're back, baby. I mean, this is some great feelings. We're recording this on Thursday. We'll probably do a breakdown of Thursday because I do have a very strong stance. No surprise there. Um, yeah, I mean NFL, man. I'll be honest. It's been rough, and I mean, you have been rock solid on NFL, but I'll take my L's where they lie. But I mean, I did. I didn't get to talk about this on the show before because I've been out, but I did get a shipper. I shipped the Monday Night Football, my own Bengals slate, a 14K winner that night. Had the optimal lineup on DraftKings, which basically, I mean, that basically that one night, that Monday Night Football, made me way positive for the whole season, and that's the beauty of DFS. Like I've been main slate, and we'll talk about the main slate and all that. I've just been getting wrecked. I cannot put together a winning lineup to save my life, and we'll talk about. I made some mistakes last week. I was big on Justin Fields going into Sunday, but then Deshaun Watson ended up on the injury report, and I ended up on Dorian Thompson Robinson. So a lot of bad decisions were made. Like looking back at it, it was so clear like why I should never do that. I went from like taking a quarterback who is elite with his legs and was basically due against one of the worst defenses in football, and I take a guy that's never started an NFL game against one of the better defenses in the NFL just to save a couple $1,000 in salary. So, yeah, not my best moves, but I mean, I got the shipper, and I'll talk about why we love Showdown during the Chicago game, um, but yeah, so I mean, not been a good season, but all it takes is one to get you right back in there and going. So,
You're
how was
so
your last week? You sent me some bangers that you had. I think that was last week, right? Or I mean, you've been
uh,
hot 2 weeks. You've been hot for sure.
I've been getting my money back. Last week was a very, very good week. Who was it? Kyren Williams was a no-brainer. But for some reason, no one was talking about CMC. Debo, his team was extremely hurt. Ayuk was coming back off of an injury. Debo also hurt, so I figured maybe CMC does well. He's worth the price, and God, was he worth the price? That dude went crazy. So
Yeah,
between
he
Kyren
was.
and CMC, it was a really great week last week, and I'm looking to lose it all because I don't know what the hell's going on this week. You're gonna have to walk me through. It's just matchup wise, it's weird. You have big guns not on the main slate. I I don't know. We're gonna need some assistance here, but good news is you said you feel fairly confident about this week, especially the very very first game here on later on tonight. So again, we got those damn Chicago Bears, and I'll be honest with you, I want the Commanders. I want the Commanders to suck here. I know that Jahan Dotson's a little hurt. Who else did they say is not the greatest? I don't even recall. But I still am holding on to this Panthers with the worst record in the NFL bet. And the only team that's going to take that from me are these damn Chicago Bears. And I was looking at their schedule, and I don't see a game where the Bears can win. There's very few. This is one of them, man. There's a chance. So I know you had a strong stance on it. We got the Bears as plus 220 dogs, minus 270 the comeback on the Commanders. Over under is kind of lower, 45. I guess it's kind of standard, but at the end of the day, what's your strong stance in regards to this game? I'm kind of.
You know what I'm on. You
Are,
know what I'm picking.
are you going to do it?
What do you think?
I'll be riding with you, brother.
Yeah, man, I love the Bears.
Oh,
Huge on the Bears. The Bears are my lock. I love the Bears. They're my lock. I just this Washington team. They are about as fraudulent as they come. Like, and obviously the Bears. Let's be clear. The Bears are 0-5. You're either hot or you're due, and the Bears are due. And with this Washington team, you look at them. They are not good. They barely escaped Arizona week 1. Week 2, they were at Denver. They were losing like 20 something to nothing. They were getting crushed, and then had like Denver is Denver and just stepped off the gas, and they came all the way back and won. Week 3, they got destroyed by your Buffalo Bills.
yeah,
And then last week, division games are all weird. Obviously there was a little craziness that happened there at the end. But I think Washington basically unleashed their whole load last week into Philadelphia, because I mean those guys. And I heard this take. I forget where I heard this, but I thought it was hilarious and somewhat true. Those guys, the Washington Commanders, were so tired last week that they couldn't even go for 2 points to win the game at the end of the game when they scored the game when the game tying touchdown at the end. They had the Eagles on the ropes, but they were so tired as time expired that they couldn't even go for
heard that too. Because
So,
Ron Rivera
just
loved going for 2, and everyone was confused.
Oh yeah, and I think that Justin Fields, he's playing for his life in the NFL. The coach, Matt Eberflus, he may not make it past today if he doesn't win today. I mean, they're literally playing, because you got to think, Chicago holds basically right now. They hold the first pick and the second pick, and based on Carolina, and so they don't really have to. They don't really have to even tank on their own. They already have another team with an unprotected first round pick. So I think they're going to give it all they got today. And Washington is not good. I think the Bears put up some points tonight. Not that I don't think it's competitive, because I do think it's competitive. But if you're giving me 5.5 points, I just think I don't see any way that the Bears don't come out here and give it their all tonight. They're all maybe short. I mean, it very well could be, but I'm gonna go Bears money line plus 230 or something. I think it's very. I'm definitely taking the money line. Well. I'm going to take the money line as well. I think I think they're going to win outright. I just think that Justin Fields has a huge game. I think that he starts. I think he starts doing Justin Fields things again, where he starts getting back running with his legs, because that's when he's most effective. They've tried to make him a pocket quarterback, and it just doesn't work. He's got to get out running. I think the Bears and the Bears big. Not big, but I think they play very well tonight. And one thing I want to say, for people that are playing Showdown, and this is a personal bias because I've shipped a few times in Showdown. Showdown for me is just like when you're talking fantasy sports. I think it's just there's such an edge with Showdown, because when you're talking main slates, you got like 10 games that you have to try and find the nuts with. I mean, the variance there is, one game goes off and you don't have it. I mean, you're screwed. Showdown, it's basically you pick a script. You play the guy, like if you think the Bears are going to get out early and Washington's going to trail, you're going to play the Bears running game, which includes Fields, and you're going to play the Commanders passing game. You think the Commanders get out early, you play the Commanders running game and the Bears passing game, sort of thing. It's very script oriented and game flow oriented, and you basically have, one script to kind of follow. And I really like that about Showdown, because people just play random players and not do any sort of game style correlation in Showdown. And I think there's such an edge with Showdown. So I'll be big on the Bears money line spread and a lot of Justin Fields captain lineups tonight in DFS. So what's your take?
Say, who's your captain? That was going to be my number one question.
Yeah, Justin Fields.
He did it with this.
I like Darnell Mooney tonight. I do like Darnell Mooney tonight to get in the box.
Some scorching hot takes.
Yeah, I love Darnell Mooney tonight to get in the box. Maybe even first TD.
Oh my God!
But yeah, I got all these right after the show. I'm gonna put all my Bears bets in. I love them tonight. What's your take?
I'll ride with you. I am rooting for the Bears again. I think there are very minimal ones that they can win. And again, the Commanders, like you said, they're dead tired. They are banged up from that game. Like I know a lot of these guys are playing, but a lot of them are playing hurt. I'm pretty sure Scary Terry and Dotson are both injured and just playing through it. So yeah, if you're going to catch them, this is the time after a big letdown. I really was 50-50 on it. You gave me a little bit of confidence to pull the trigger. And you're saying money line, so I felt decent about the plus. It's at 6 now. The line's going up. Like,
We're in, baby. We are in. That
oh,
is the Stacks and Stacks official play. That, I mean, we are going to hammer that. We probably need to send a tweet out about that because a lot of people probably won't watch the show. But we are hammering the Bears tonight. At least I am. So
I'll do it with you. You gave me the confidence. Let's do it. We'll go in.
Let's ride. So that's my take on the first game.
All right. Well, the next game is a London game, and we'll kick this one off. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 195 dog. We got the best team in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills, at minus 240. Over under sitting at 48.5, which makes sense. Listen, you went on a little tangent about the showdown or about the Thursday night game. I'll do a very, very quick one about how much bullshit this is for the Bills. Why is this a home game? I don't understand. The Jaguars are literally in London waiting for us to show up. Like, how on earth is this a home game for the Bills? Yeah, we have to play the Chargers, we have to play the Eagles, we have to play the Chiefs, we have to play the Bengals, all on the road. Like, what the fuck did we do to piss everyone off? It doesn't matter. We're talented. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna shit on the Jaguars. I don't want you to forget that if we didn't fuck up against the Jaguars, I think it was that was 2 years ago against Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer only won like 1 or 2 games in the NFL, and one of them was a 9-6 victory over the Buffalo Bills that Josh Allen has mentioned in some interviews as one of his worst losses ever. So we hold receipts. We saw what Josh did after week 1, talking about holding receipts, and he's gone nuclear ever since. He's mentioning stuff about the Jaguars, so he's gonna have a personal vendetta. I don't hate. It's not a whole touchdown. I don't hate the minus 5.5. We usually win big. We don't play a lot of close games, so we either get upset or we win big. So if you're giving me less than a touchdown, I'm going to go ahead and take them. And again, I'm not even going to worry. Well, obviously, it's an early game, so that's not on the main slate. So I'm just focused on the betting, and I'm going to eat the chalk and let my home bias take over. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm on the opposite end. I think
Well,
the reasons you alluded to, I don't. It's a tough spot. I mean, Jacksonville's already been over there for a week and a half, 2 weeks. Buffalo's coming in after they just, they played essentially their not. I don't want to call it their Super Bowl, but it was a big game in terms of like asserting their dominance back in the AFC East. I think it's a large ask. I think Jacksonville is obviously super talented, and they've shown they're super talented, but they haven't really put it together yet. So I like the Jaguars. I'm going to, right out of the gate, and do the roof. I'm going to do 2 dogs, both on the money line. You can get a plus 200, plus 230 on these first 2 games. And again, this is another showdown game. I love that we can get showdown before the slate. That really gets me going for Sunday. 9 o'clock in the morning, you get some showdown. I really like that. But no, I like the Jaguars to beat the Bills here. And I'm not as hard stanced as I was on the Bears in terms of beating, but I do think they cover. I think it's a close game. I hope I'm wrong, but I just have a feeling that the Jaguars come out here and play big. So I'll go with the Jags.
I hope you win big on showdown tonight so that you don't lose too much this week betting against the Bills. Who you can bet against is the fucking Giants, man. We got the Giants as plus 500 dogs this week against the Miami Dolphins. I mean, it's a 12.5 point spread. Over under sitting at 47.5. God. That's ridiculous. I understand Okay, I'm going to say something gross. First of all, I think Miami covers. I think they cover the 12 and a half. They're another team that doesn't really play a lot of close games. They generally blow you out or you do nothing. Mostert, the Bills cause a lot of turnovers. Mostert fumbled twice. They were in Buffalo. DeMar Hamlin's first game being suited up. Like, there is a lot going on there. I think they were just overtaken by the moment. I think they're going to return to the mean. The Giants have no offensive line whatsoever. It doesn't really matter. Oh, damn. R.I.P. Dick Butkus. Jesus. Wow. All right. Well, in regards to the Dolphins, I mean, they have a few guys. They're getting Jalen Phillips back. The Giants, it's going to sound weird. I think Miami wins. I think Miami covers. But in regards to a DFS, dude, I don't hate Daniel Jones this week. It's going to be real gross. It's going to feel terrible. I just shit on their line, but he's going to get 5,800. I like a lot of these cheap quarterbacks this week, and he's one of them that I might be staring down if there's not a lot of just ownership. I mean, I'm thinking
he
about
is
it.
so. It's not even. He is bad in himself, but his offensive line. You and I could go out there and do what they're doing. He was. I felt bad for the guy. He's already bad as, and I think Devin Witherspoon for the Seahawks pointed his flaw out the other. He's a first read guy. He can't even get his first read out. I mean, he stares down these guys, and that's how they had the pick six. I mean, he is in for a long, especially if they don't get Andrew Thomas back. Diffie, please don't play him. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be a slaughter. It may be to the point where you see Tyrod Taylor. Please don't play him.
Well, I don't think Saquon's 100%, and I don't think he's going to get a full workload. That Miami defense is terrible against the pass. They can't tackle anybody. They can't guard anyone. It's absolutely terrible. It is one of the worst defensive units on the league. And the main reason I was even staring at Daniel Jones is because I'm absolutely in love with Darren Waller. I am enamored with Darren Waller this week. I know he had a letdown the last 2 weeks, but last week, again, it was the line issue. Daniel Jones couldn't even throw the ball. Week before that, he would have had a good night, but he dropped like 4 easy catches. That's not typical. He doesn't do that all the time. I think this is a huge Waller bounce back week, and I think I'm going to have Waller in pretty much every single one of my lineups. I think he's going to eat. So at that point, I'm staring at Daniel, but I might have to play naked Waller, but that's all I'm playing from the Giants side. Dolphins, I'm just playing all your standards. Do you have a strong stance on this one?
Yeah, I think there's always next week. I think if you're going to put Darren Waller, he's not even out there running routes. I mean, he's not even like they just got so many dudes in their targets. I mean, they got Wandale, they got Slayton, they got Waller, they got Bellinger, and they can barely complete it as it is. Why are you playing him? He's 5,400.
I like
Why?
it. Because I think everyone's going to be awful. It's all about ownership, baby.
I had him in Showdown, and I didn't even know he was out there. My buddy, because we bet him on the Anytime TD, and my buddy texted me from work and said, "Is he playing?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't know where he's at." And
Wandale's only like 3K this week too. That's a pretty
good
deal too. Wandale's only 3K.
Yeah, no, that's who I like. That I think that's where they're at. I mean, Waller, you're paying a premium, like 5K for a tight end, 5.4. He's more expensive than Sam Laporta, Dallas Goedert, Tyler Higbee, Zach Ertz.
No one will have him. That's my whole premise. I understand it, but your take right now and how frustrated you are with playing him is the reason.
I get it. He's gonna smash. I get it.
The only reason.
I think what you want to do in this game, don't play Darren Waller. He's gonna with me saying that he's gonna score. I think you want to, if you're gonna target this game, you're probably gonna want. I think you can get Tua pretty well owned, and it's just an easy spot for him. I mean, either Waddle or Tyreek, and maybe both, are just going to feast. And that's the beauty about Tua is you know where the ball's going. You don't have any kind of debate on, hey, is it going to go here, 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 or here? It's going to those two guys, and it makes it very stackable. And I think the run back is Wandale. I mean, the guy looked great. They're running jet sweeps with him. They're wanting to get him involved. His snap count went up last week, and he's 3K. Did we factually check that? Is he really 3K?
I'm like almost certain.
If he's not 3K, I'll fact check it right now. He is 3K. Yeah, I mean that is. I mean, I love London. If I'm playing anyone, it's him. And that's free. Even if he busts, which I don't think he does, because I mean they clearly want to get him the football, and he's one of their more explosive guys. He's not going to kill you. So I love Wandale. I think you can get away with playing a Tua stack. I agree with you. The Dolphins probably they probably crush here, and yeah. So that's my take on that game.
Giant stack, heard loud and clear. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers, the worst team in the NFL, plus 360 against the Detroit Lions at minus 470. God, they're 10-point home favorites. God, over under sitting at 44. I mean, you can't. I've learned that you can't run. There's a certain amount of teams that you can't run on, and the Lions are one of them. I think the best part of the Panthers game is their run game. I think they're fucked. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. Lions, 10 is a lot, especially with Amon-Ra. He's saying he's playing, but he's not practicing. But I'm never going to discount anything Amon-Ra says. I don't want him to keep a note or something saying that I said that he's not going to play, and he did 10 years from now. So Amon-Ra will be out there. I hope he's not. I was looking to try to save money with, like you said, playing Laporta, playing some like Josh Reynolds and some lose. Like I was looking at it, but if he's playing, I'm staying away. People are talking about maybe it's the Gibbs week. I'm done. Until I see it, I'm not touching Gibbs. But we have loved David Montgomery since he joined the NFL, and people are just now realizing how good he is, and he's going to go nuclear this week. Like, he's going to go absolutely crazy.
Do you mean this year?
Both. Both. I love Monty. I love him this week. Panther side, I'm starting absolutely no one. I don't know if you want to fuck around with the Thielen experiment or whatever's going on out there. What are your thoughts on this game?
I am with you, and this is one of my issues. I keep playing this freaking Jahmyr Gibbs, and he's not out there, and I can't get it through my head why they would trade up. They traded up to get Gibbs, right?
Yeah, they traded Swift for. Did they trade Swift to move up? Yeah.
Either way, they spent high draft capital on him. And they're giving him the DeAndre Swift treatment. They don't play the scat backs. They just get these bruisers like David Montgomery and Jamal Williams last year that Dan Campbell, no matter what, like I thought they were crushing last week. And I thought, oh, maybe they'll give Gibbs one to get him his first touchdown. No, he just continues to run David Montgomery. And the only thing that's going to stop David Montgomery is his health. You could very well see a David Montgomery in the blue medical tent notification on your phone. That is possible. But that's the only thing that's going to stop that guy, because, I mean, they're just going to feed him. And I think the Lions are a really good football team. I heard this.
They're winning.
Yeah, I think they're probably a lock at this point to win the division. Yeah, I know you're on Green Bay to win the division, but I just don't see a way the Lions don't win the division because two of the teams are essentially eliminated, and they've already beat the other team, and I just think they're a lock. They're minus 220 right now, and I just think that'll keep going up. But yeah, I don't really have too much DFS interest though, outside of Montgomery. And I'll probably, because I'm a sucker, I'll play some Gibbs because I don't want to miss it. And it's a bad decision because I know it's just not going to come. Even when he gets hurt, they just throw in Craig Reynolds and let him run. So yeah, I think the Lions are in a great spot. I think Carolina sucks. Their defense is worse than I ever thought it would be, and their offense is already garbage. So I'm on the Lions, David Montgomery. That's about it.
Right. Well, I'll need some. This is your division, so I'll need a little help with this one too. At the Baltimore Ravens, only minus 205 on the money line. I don't know what I'm missing. Only 4.5 point favorites going up against Pittsburgh. Come back on Pittsburgh at plus 170. Over under really low, 38. I mean, I don't think Pittsburgh D's that good this year. Is what am I missing here? Like, what's going on with this?
Pittsburgh freaking sucks. I was wrong. I mean, I thought they were better than they are. They freaking suck. They're not getting better either. They are not good. They are. I mean, granted, C.J. Stroud and the Texans are a lot better than I gave him credit for. I mean, that dude is out there firing, and he doesn't. He doesn't. He has you and I playing receiver, and Nico Collins is a freaking animal out there.
Yeah.
That guy should be in like the 7Ks for DraftKings pricing. But no, I'm all with you. I mean, I don't think the Ravens. I think the Ravens are overrated, but in this spot, I mean, it is a divisional game. I guess they know each other. They have a lot of tape on each other, so typically these games will play closer. But from a talent perspective and just pure production, I mean, I think Baltimore rolls. So probably on the square side, but I can't take Pittsburgh. They freaking suck.
Yeah, and their quarterback's hurt. So, like, do we trust? And I think they're going to play him. So, how bad is Trubisky that they're willing to play hurt Pickett? Like, that's not a good sign. So, yeah, I don't even have much to say about it. I really don't want to touch any of Pittsburgh in DFS. I don't want to touch the Ravens that much. If anything, I might take a cheap shot on Nelson Aguilar just because Pittsburgh has been giving up some big plays like one or two times a game. I think Aguilar is like he's pretty cheap. I want to say he's like 3,800 or let's see, Nelson Aguilar. He's pretty cheap. I know he is. Yeah, he's 3,300. So I mean that's a potential shot. Otherwise, if you want to start Mark Andrews and eat the chalk, you can. I'm really not that interested in Zay or Lamar in this line. I really don't like this game at all, and I think there's a reason it's a 38 point over under. I'm probably just going to bet the Ravens, hope they win 28-3, and keep it moving. Let's see. Next game. Speaking of the aforementioned Houston Texans, here they come, baby, as underdogs. Again, I don't understand what's happening. Houston plus 100, minus 120 to the Falcons. I understand it's a Falcons home game, but over under sitting at 41.5. I'm gonna have to side with the dog. I like Houston quite a bit here. And if I asked you what you think Nico Collins is, he's wide receiver what in fantasy right now? What are your thoughts? What's your guess?
6.
Very close. Wide receiver 7 on the year. Like this
That was pure guess. I had no idea. He's had 2 monster leaks
he's
though.
going crazy. And in our main league, I had one spot. I forgot why. There was someone I had to pick up. There was an injury, and I had to pick someone up. And I had to drop Nico Collins for a week. It was week 1. It was before the season started, and I had to drop him just for one quick second. And someone picked him up right away, and that is instant regret. I have him in every other league I have. I was like, no one's paying attention to Nico Collins before the season starts. Well, I was wrong. People were hit to it prior to, and God, I'm going to start him again. I'm going to start him until the wheels fall off. I understand that the Falcons are a good defense. They're really not bad, to be honest with you. So they have some pretty good corners. You can't run on them either, really. Like the Falcons D is sneaky good this year. But you ride the hot hand. CJ is going absolutely insane. He's making Tank Dell look good. I hated Tank Dell's college tape. It was nothing but screen passes, and he looked slow. Like I was like, this guy is not going to be a thing. But CJ made him a thing.
Oh, he's the thing.
A thing. Robert Woods was getting targets. John Mechie's coming back. Like CJ Stroud is a good quarterback. So I'm all in. I love the Texans and fantasy. Obviously, you're going to start. You can run on the Texans. So this is a weird matchup because that's all they're going to do. They made the mistake of letting Desmond Ridder throw the ball 18 times or something like that last week, and they lost. Wait, didn't the Falcons lose it? Yeah, they lost last week. So I don't know, man. This is a game where you should run the ball. So I know Arthur Smith has a fucking hard on for this game. So it doesn't matter. I'm going to ride the Texans until the wheels fall off. I'm starting Bijan. I'm starting Nico. I'll go crazy. I'll have a CJ Stroud lineup just to pair with Nico and call it there. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going to continue. I mean, this Bijan, I thought people were insane for drafting him in the top like 10 picks, and that guy is the guy is unreal. Like I watched him, and I've seen like his like because he makes these crazy highlights where he makes people miss. That guy is the real deal. I mean, if the ball is like from a pass catching perspective, if that ball is thrown in his vicinity and it very rarely is in his chest because Desmond Ritter is absolutely horrible, and that's one of the takes I've had since he was at UC. I mean, Bijan is an absolute animal. The only issue is they're running Tyler Algier right now, and it still doesn't matter. The guy is just a volume monster. He's a per touch monster. Has he gotten to the box yet?
Week one.
He got into the box week one. Okay, yeah. So, but I mean, he hasn't gotten in it since. I don't
I don't
think.
think so. And he's still scoring.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, and he's still scoring. So once he starts getting in the box, his scoring is just going to go up. I think he's a lock this week. I'm going to pay up for him. I'm going to probably play him on all my teams. And when I say all my teams, I play about 5 lineups every week. Probably play him everywhere and probably going to regret it, but I don't really care. I love the guy. I'm with you though. I'm nervous about Stroud, just because at some point, I mean, it's like the stock market in which he's so high at some point he has to come down.
Mm-hmm.
And that Vegas line is, and they should not be. That line is kind of weird to me. So I don't have a hard stance in the line, but I do think Desmond Ritter 6, but I do think CJ Stroud has to come back to reality at some point. So I probably won't play him. It's probably a mistake. The guy is out there shredding. I don't think he's thrown any interceptions yet. He takes care of the ball. He gets out quick. I mean, the guy is just phenomenal right now. So probably a bad move on my part to fade him. I don't advise it, but I personally probably will if I can find a better quarterback option. Unless I run him back, if I may do one where I pair him with Tank Dell or maybe even Bobby Trees. I love Bobby Trees out there at like 900 years old. He catches like 7 balls and PPR monster. So maybe do one of those lineups with Bijan and run it back with them. But outside of that, kind of a stay away from me. They're going to at one point make me. They're conflicting me with. They have my boy Kyle Pitts at 3,300. They're like really testing me there, but they're freaking throwing it to Jonnu Smith. I mean, tough scene for. I mean, Arthur Smith is like the worst coach to ever coach football. Like in terms of like getting in his pass catchers involved. I feel so bad for Kyle Pitts. You put him on another team, he crushes. But
did you see that route last week? The video, the viral video of Kyle Pitts route running last week.
No, I don't want to see it. Do I?
No. There was a video of him. He was running. He ran a route, shook his defender all the way to the ground, was jumping in the air for the ball, and Ritter just missed him. Like not a defender anywhere near him. So Kyle Pitts doesn't know what to do, and he just looks over at the defender and starts taunting him, and just talking to the defenders about how he's cooking them. Because I mean, Ritter doesn't seem to care. But like literally shaking multiple times last week, shook a Jacksonville defender to the ground and didn't get the ball.
That's a shame. That is a shame. I'm glad I didn't notice that before.
It's bad.
Yeah. So I'll probably play one Pitts, Lou. I'll play Pitts just because I'm a sucker. But
well, I'll give you the next one. I think the next one's going to be it sounds weird considering the teams. I think it's a sneaky good game. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Tennessee Titans, 43.5 as the over under here. We got the Titans as the road favorites against the Colts plus 110. We might see the debut of Jonathan Taylor here, and what a debut it would be against this just really, really tough Titans run defense. So I don't know, man. This is going to be a little. You had some hot takes earlier with the Bears. I think this is Alec Pierce week. I think he's going to go insane. I think Alec Pierce is going to double dong this week. Swear to God. Don't question it. The Titans keep getting burned, man. I'm telling you right now, Alex Pierce is their 9-route guy. Just go long, buddy. We'll find you. And with AR,
Bengals didn't burn him. I'll tell you that.
No, he played ball in Cincy. They knew. Cincy knew. Tennessee
Uh,
has no idea what Alec Pierce is about to do to them. So at the end of the day, I love Derrick Henry this week. I'm off Derrick Henry for the year. I'm picking and choosing the matchups where I'll use him, and this is going to be one of them. I mean, the Colts they just let Kyron Williams score twice last week. You have Treylon Burks not playing. DeAndre Hopkins is averaging 50 yards a game. They can't throw. So you have this Colts team that's struggling against the run. This is a King Henry game. I think he does well. I think he's going to be the number one running back on the slate, to be honest with you. CMC against Dallas cost the most. I'm not touching that. Saquon is the second most off injury. Probably going to be on a snap count. Bijan, he can't score for some reason. Tony Pollard against San Fran, I want no part. And then you have Derrick Henry. So I think Derrick might be the best running back this week in regards to the pricing. And I'm going to have a lot of him here. But I might favor the home team on a betting standpoint. I think it's just a sheer dog or pass, but I kind of like the over, to be honest with you. I think the over is going to hit here. What are you? Am I on island or are you seeing?
I think if you're thinking Alec Pierce is going to smash, you better have Anthony Richardson in your daggone lineup because that guy is a fantasy machine. That guy, he is the goal line back. He is the running back. He is, and that guy, I think he has a really bright future, especially fantasy wise, if he can stay healthy ahead of Mintz. But now I don't like Tennessee. I just I'm not high on them. I think Tannehill sucks. You know I King Henry, yeah, he tore it up last week, but the Bengals look really bad right now. I
Their
just
defense is rough.
yeah, I like the Colts here. I think it's a tough spot for the Titans. I think you're right. I think that if you're going to go the passing game route, I think Anthony Richardson has some options at his disposal. And I think it's not a hard stance or anything, but I'll take the Colts here. And I think every week you have to have interest in Anthony Richardson and DFS just because of his rushing ability and his ability to get in the box with his legs and as well as throw it. And I don't think they play much defense anyway, so they're always going to play. They're going to be in a high scoring game. So I'm on the over with you, and I lean the Colts.
And one more question for you. I know we focus on DFS, but I have a season long matchup where I have to make the decision between Anthony Richardson and Tua. Which one would you start this week? They're projected.
Probably myself. Probably be. I mean, if you're looking for ceiling, Richardson. If you're looking for just a safe floor, probably Tua. But just depends what you're looking for. I don't think you can go wrong either way. But the only thing you got to worry about is Tua getting 5 touchdowns with that best running back of all time, Devin Achane. So that's a valid concern. So I think we didn't talk about him in that game, but he could smash too. I mean, that guy is just unreal. So
I hear you. All right. Well, the next one we don't have to spend a lot of time on. I think it's the worst game. I go from one of the highest scoring best games to one of the worst. We have the Saints going up against the Patriots. Patriots are no longer the favorites. Interesting. It must be because of all their defensive injuries. They lost their rookie cornerback Gonzalez this week. They lost Matt Judon may not play the rest of the season. Like they did lose some big pieces on defense. This is just an overall gross game. It's basically a straight pick 'em over under at 39.5. God, I was gonna say dog or pass, but it's a straight pick 'em. I could care less about this game. I guess I'll pick the Saints. But I have no confidence and I have no interest in DFS. Do you have either?
I have nothing. I think maybe the Patriots, but again, with your stance, no strong conviction. This is I'm not going to touch it DFS wise. I'm not going to bet it. Just pure pass.
All right. Well, on to the next one where I do care a little bit. We have the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the LA Rams. Rams are up plus 170 at home. Eagles minus 205 over under almost 50 at 49.5. What are your thoughts on this one?
It's tough because naturally you want to think the Eagles are unstoppable and they're just Superman. But obviously, I mean, Washington took them to their brink. They do have weaknesses as much they've been sort of not they've been exposed in a way. I don't think it's an exposed of like they have anything to worry about. But I think they're one of the best teams in the NFL. The spread is a little worrisome to me. I don't see why it's only 4.5 points. So that leads me to believe it's closer than I probably think it is. But in my head, I think that the Eagles smash. I think from a DFS standpoint that you can always play the Eagles. They're one of those offenses where they have the mobile quarterback and the quarterback that has two main targets and one main running back. I think DeAndre Swift has kind of made his way into being, extremely viable every week. They showed they trust him and they like him. So I'm on the Eagles here. I think the over-under is probably about right, so probably have no action on it. But I'll go with the Eagles. But I wouldn't be shocked if this is one where, hey, I'm a donkey and picking the public pick. But I just think they're the better football team. I don't think the Rams are anything to write home about. I'll go with the Eagles and probably play over their pieces from DFS.
I think the Eagles struggle when they have a team that can keep up with them offensively. The Rams can, but I don't think it's. I think they caught them at a good time with Cooper Kupp being eligible this week. If we're looking at week like 13 and he's fully healthy, and Williams is also banged up and did not practice, so that's another one to keep an eye on. We might have to save some money with Ronnie Rivers this week, so do keep an eye out on what's going on with Kyren Williams. But I mean, if it was the superpowered Rams with Williams and you have Kupp and you have Puka, like I think they stand a chance. It's just first week back Kupp and hurt Kyren. I don't think this is the time to pull the trigger. I think the Eagles are not that good because of their secondary. I think a team like when they play Miami, I think they're in a little bit of trouble. Or they play the Chiefs, they play the Bills, the 49ers. Like they have a bad time coming, and it seems to be towards the end of the year. But this isn't the time. I think the Eagles are going to win. In regards to DFS, I mean, the one that saved me and the one that won me all the money last week was AJ Brown. No one was talking about AJ Brown either. So that was a really good play. Do I want to do it again against the Rams? I don't think I'm going to go to the well twice. I think I'm going to stay away from the Eagles on a DFS standpoint. Rams, I'm probably going to stay away from this game in general. I wouldn't be surprised if it sounds crazy if the under hits. Stafford's hurt. He has a hip injury as well. So there's just too many questions with the Rams right now. So I think it's going to be a closer game, but the spread's only 4. So I'm going to take the Eagles and I'm going to stay away from DFS just because of injury. Let's see. This one, obviously, you'll start because you're the Bengals savant. We got the Bengals still favorites at minus 160. The home Cardinals at plus 140. Over under at 44. God, it's just a 3-point Bengals spread against the Cardinals. I would have never guessed. I mean, is this when they put it all together? Joe said he's feeling good.
Joe said he's feeling. I mean, he clearly cannot run. I mean, I have never in my life. There was something that went out there this week about how the Titans literally did not put any defensive tackles over the guards, over the set, nothing in the middle because they have legitimately zero fear that he's going to take off and run up the middle. And so they can just collapse on him. And they know he's not going to step up and run. I mean, that is very, very concerning. From a health standpoint, and what's even more sad, and we alluded to it with another team earlier, I forget who it was, is how concerning is it that this Joe Burrow on one leg is better than our other backup options. That is very, very, very scary. I do personally, I think it's a big Joe Mixon week. I think there was opportunity for them to run last week, and they just kind of gave up on it. They got down, obviously, but I think they were running on Tennessee, and no one runs on Tennessee. So it's probably because there was no down lineman on the guards, and that's probably why they were having some success because they really didn't care. But no, I think it's again, this is my bias kicking. I think they do have a rebound week. I think they get by, and that's nothing to do with them. They're long term. stability in my mind. I just think the Cardinals are really bad, and I think it's an opportunity for them to get right. And I think their only path is for them to win. They have to win this week. I mean, I hate to call any game must win this early in the season, but it is a must win. If you can't beat the Cardinals, there's no reason for him to
Put
be
them
out
on
there.
IR.
Yeah, put him on IR, get him healthy, then forgo the season. There's no reason for them to be out there. Yeah, and I think they win this week, and then the real determination will be. And I don't think if they win this week, the next week will be a must, must, must. But it is a very important game, and then they head into the bye. So I think if they play Seattle next week. I think if they can go 2-0, there's still hope for them to get him through the bye, getting a little healthy. But I I think I do think DFS wise, I think you do want to look at them because if T's not going to play, they're going to be very condensed. Between Jamar, obviously had some words after the game last week about how he said I'm open. I'm always fucking open. Um, when they asked him if he's having trouble, getting open. So I think it's one of the cases where they will force feed him a little bit, especially if no T Higgins. I think Tyler Boyd is very cheap, and he'll be in that
500.
two hole wide receiver, and I think Joe Mixon. So, and I think that's got to put Joe Burrow in play as well. His price is going down, but I mean, will I be shocked if they come out here and look like they did last week? No, I won't, because I just don't think he's healthy. I don't think they were honest about his injury from the beginning. I think the way he pulled up, and they're like, "Oh, that's the mildest of mild calf strains," and I said, "No, they're not being honest here." So I lean the Bengals. I do think they cover. I do think they win. Um, I would lean the over, but no hard stance on that. And I wouldn't be shocked if the Bengals lay another egg. It would be sad, but I do expect us to win. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I think you guys win as well, but I think it's going to be close. I mean, the Cardinals, the difference between the Cardinals and the Panthers and the Bears and Broncos, the Broncos have talent. They're just not playing hard. The Panthers have some talent, but they had some injuries in their secondary and just their defense in general. The Bears just aren't. They're just turnover prone and not really trying. The Cardinals are giving it everything they have. They just don't have the talent, but they are, man, that guy, what's his name? Gannon, he should get coach of the year because he is coaching these kids up. Like he has Josh Dobbs looking like a top 10 quarterback. Like these guys are trying everything in their power to win. So that's a scary team. One of those teams with nothing to lose. I mean, my favorite quote of all time is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I don't think that matters here against the Bengals because it's not like the Bengals aren't trying. They're not giving up on their season. So just because there isn't a semblance of hope, I'll go ahead and I'll still side with the Bengals. DFS, you might have talked me into Chase, but I'm playing naked Chase. I'm not touching Burrow. I'm not touching Mixon. If anyone in this game that I really actually like is James Conner. James Conner's getting a ton of work, and again, the Bengals, their run D is
Why
bottom.
would you not play? Why not mix it? Just curious. Why not mix it?
I don't know. I thought he would be cheaper than he is, to be honest with you. He was 6,400. I thought I would get a little bit more of a discount. It's kind of
But he
annoying.
really hasn't done anything yet. I mean, he's playing Arizona. He's shown a solid floor. I mean, his last week was obviously his worst game, but all the other games are double digits. He's only gotten into the box once, and obviously, so touchdown regression is coming. And he catches the ball out of the backfield. I don't see why you wouldn't have any interest in him. I think that's a bad move in here. If you think the Bengals win, but yeah.
I mean, you also look at the other teams they played. Saquon, what did Saquon do against the Cardinals? Just because I don't see, is Mixon catching that many passes?
He's got 9 catches through 4 games, so he's involved. He's got 13 targets. So I mean,
It just looks like with the Cardinals, their run defense isn't good by any means. I mean, they played CMC, so that if you take out the CMC crazy game, they're giving up about 55 to 60 yards to all other three running backs. So they played Saquon, they played Brian Robertson, they played Tony Pollard, and they all got like
keep in mind they got up like 28-0 against the Giants, and they
true.
just threw. Yeah.
True. No, that's true. It just seems like when is Mixon closer to Brian Robertson and is he closer to Brian Robertson or is he closer to CMC? I'd smack him in the middle there. I feel like
Oh,
Mixon's going to get about 80 yards. And maybe 80. I'll be happy with 80, but if he doesn't score, I don't know if I'm happy with 6,400. But I hear you. I don't have a problem with Mixon. I'm not saying don't play the guy. I like your Chase take a little more. I don't have enough Chase.
I think he smashes. He's gonna smash.
But I love Connor this matchup too. Hollywood, it's all right. If you want to play him, you can.
You can play Ertz. Ertz is
you can honestly.
Ertz is in a down tight end year. Ertz has played really well, so I think you can play a lot of Zach Ertz.
I like Connor.
And the Wilson kid has played well. Michael Wilson the last few weeks, he's popped off. So I think they got viable pieces on both sides DFS wise. I wouldn't fade this game completely because I do think someone will score.
Okay. No, I hear you. You're right. I hear you, and it's a Bengals game, so you're the one that just cast a DFS on a Bengals game, so I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to do with this matchup. So, okay, and then we'll fire. Then we just got a few more left. We got the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Vikings. Chiefs only 3.5-point favorites. I feel like that feels weird too. Minus 185 is not a bad price. Vikings plus 155 at home. Over under sitting at 52.5. I think the Chiefs roll. And I think Mahomes is QB1 this week on the slate. I think he's going to go nuclear, but I think I'm going to play naked Mahomes. I don't really want to play the Sky Moore, the MVS. I think if it's anyone, I think it is MVS this week. But I don't want to play the Chiefs wide receiver gauntlet. I hate doing that. And I am convinced that Mahomes goes crazy.
Just play Kelce.
I don't even think I want to pay for Kelce. I see other tight ends at value this week. I was thinking about playing naked Mahomes and coming back with Justin Jefferson and then some of the cheap pieces here. I just love Mahomes this week. And I'm going to play JJ on the other side because he can't.
JJ should be played every week. I don't know why I don't just play him every week. I mean, he should be literally. I'm going to play my boy Cam Akers, too. Cam Akers is going to do it here for us. That guy looked electric last week. They weren't giving him the ball, but, man, when he was in there, he was explosive. I think he averaged like 9 a carry.
Did he really?
Yeah, I mean, he looked. He may have touched it maybe 5 or 6 times, but he got me like 7 fantasy points because I got a notification like 10 minutes before lock that he was in with the first team, and I ran to my lineup. I switched him out. I cannot resist.
My boy 900. I mean, that's cheap.
Hey, he's got to get that. He's going to get more work. Hey, that's my cheapie play of the week. Cam Akers. He's going to overtake Alexander Madison, get in the box, and he's going to pay off that 4,900 price tag. Don't listen to me, but
whatever. It's whatever. I actually don't hate the under there. I think 52 is too high. That Chiefs defense is good this year, so it is what it is. Next one, I'm also not playing at all. I hate this game. The Jets versus Broncos, one of the worst games on the slate. Jets are plus 115. Broncos minus 135. That 43.5, I'm going to take the under, and I think I'm just going to go straight dogger pass with this one, too. The Jets have to win eventually, and the Broncos love to give games away. So my pick is going to be the Jets. I'm going to bet the Jets, and I'm not going to touch it for DFS. I know a lot of people are on the Breece Hall train after hearing he has no more snap count. He's going to go crazy. I need to see it first. It's another one of these show me first. So I'm going to stay away from DFS. If I really want to, I might plug my nose and bet the Jets. But outside of that, I'm not touching this. Are you doing anything with it?
I am 100%. No need to waste any time. I am arm in arm with you in every aspect of your take. So
gross. Next one's a weird one. It's a good Sunday night game. The Cowboys versus the 49ers. Cowboys plus 150 makes sense. 3.5 points, a half point might make a difference. 49ers minus 185. God, the 49ers are going to lose eventually. To who? I'm not too sure. Is it the Cowboys? I don't know. What are your thoughts on this game?
I don't think the Cowboys are as good as people think they are. I think the 49ers are probably the best team in the NFC. And I think they absolutely roll, and I think the line is disrespectful. 3.5 or whatever you said it is. I just think that's wrong. I think that's, I think the Cowboys are always going to have some public money behind them. I think, the 49ers are the real deal. They play tough physical football. McCaffrey is on some kind of roll. And they also have, Samuel, Ayuk, and Kittle. So and they play excellent defense. So I think the 49ers are close to a lock here. I will be very heavy on the 49ers. But it is a standalone DFS slate showdown. I'll be very heavy on CMC and company and show.
Is that your captain?
So, yeah. I mean, I'll have to play. I haven't played with any lineups yet. You can always reach out to Stats and Stacks closer to the slate. We'll let you know. So I haven't played any lineups with that, but he's probably expensive. So maybe not, but we'll have some exposure. But
all right. Well, the last game is one I like a lot, and I'm actually excited to do a showdown for this one. We got the Packers as dogs against the Raiders for some godforsaken reason. The line has moved; it's only +1 now. But hey, Packers underdog money is underdog money. I think they're going to roll, and I absolutely love Jordan Love. That will be my captain in regards to this game. The man cannot stop scoring touchdowns. The man had nothing. He's had no Watson. He has no Aaron Jones. And he's still putting up 3 touchdowns a game. He makes he has some weird times out there. He looks a little sketchy, but he turns it back on, and he really turns it up in the second half for some reason. So I'm in love with Love, honestly, having his full repertoire of weapons, and the Raiders are just that bad. So Devontae and Jacobs can keep it close enough to where the Packers will continue to throw. But I love Romeo Doubs here. I don't like Watson as much this week, but he can't stop scoring.
I hate that guy. I hate that guy.
Help it. So you could go ahead and you could do Watson. But I love Jordan Love, especially for like season long. I picked him up as a streaming quarterback. I have no idea why he was floating on the waiver wire, and I'm juiced about it. But I love the Packers money line here. What are you thinking?
We are ending the show, and good because I am starving, Marvin. And I got to set my lineup still. But I am with you. I think the Raiders suck. I think Jordan Love is obviously trending upward. Another showdown slate. So I'm going to be heavy on the Packers. I freaking hate Christian Watson. I don't understand him. He'll go like 3.5 quarters without seeing a touch, and then he'll wind up in the end zone wide open, like completely. Whether it be like someone busts the coverage and he's streaking down the field, or if it's in the red zone and people just forget that he exists and he's in there, and it keeps happening. And I refuse to play him. So, and it's probably a mistake on my part. But no, I'm with you. I think the Packers are a great pick here. Did you say who's starting at quarterback for the Raiders?
Jimmy still has not passed concussion protocol. I don't foresee him not starting. I don't think it should take him 2 weeks, and especially with it being the Monday night game. But right now, officially, it's still Aiden. So
yeah, if Aiden starts again, I mean, I'm not a Jimmy G guy. I think Jimmy G sucks. So yeah, I'm heavy on the Packers. Will probably be one of my bigger ones of the weekend. Cap it off Monday night. I think we gave some pretty good takes this week. I do feel like we're pretty locked in, pretty arm in arm, and I think there's some money to be won this weekend.
Yeah, I agree. I feel a lot. And this week looked intimidating, but it looks a lot better here. I think we're going to get paid this week. Let's just get it. I can't wait to post the winnings.
Who's your play of the week?
It's got to be Monty. Like, it's got to be. Like, I don't know who's going to outscore that, man.
My guy, I almost said David Montgomery. My guy, Bijan's going to be the highest scoring player of the week.
I will see.
All right.
Let's get it.
Peace.